Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, I'm Laura Longley, and you're listening to the Laura Longley Show and Ask Laura on Blog Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience ways to get unstuck and live an inspired life full of meaning, purpose, and happiness. Each week I share a practice that you can take away and use in your own life to get unstuck and moving forward. Then I'll open up the phone lines for your calls. The call-in number is 718-766-4415. You can call in right away with any issue or problem, or you'd like some guidance, wisdom, or coaching, and if you want me to use the tarot cards, I am happy to do that as well. And you can call in right away, even though I'm going to do a little bit of talking before I take calls. You can call in to get your place in the queue, 718-766-4415. And you can also type into the chat box. So you can open up the chat window, and if you have a question and you don't want to call in and talk live, you can enter it into that chat window on Blog Talk Radio. So you can also listen to the Laura Longley Show on Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. And each week on Monday's shows, I have a guest who will share their techniques and practices for creating authentic change. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking with Rose Harrow about how to get more in touch with your own intuition and use it combined with logic for fabulous decision making. I would love for you to tune in and get Rose's take on how you can use your intuition to create a better life. And I also want to remind you that in honor of New Year's resolutions, I'm offering a free program called 31 Days of Authentic Change, and you can sign up to receive this mailing at thelauralongleyshow.com. In the banner at the top of the page, you'll see there's a place to go and get more information about this free program. That's thelauralongleyshow.com. And once again, I want to remind you that if you'd like to call in, the call-in number is 718-766-4415. I'm happy to take your questions or issues or problems on any topic that you need some guidance with. And in the meantime, I'm going to dive right into sharing the practice that I'm going to give you for today. And this is one of the 31 practices that is in this 31-day Authentic Change Wisdom mailing. And this one is about creating intentions, writing intentions. I have personally used writing intentions in my life for, the past maybe 5 or 6 years, and I've had some really great success and really some situations where there was really some pretty straight line between setting the intention and seeing it manifest within a very short period of time. So I really have a big belief in the value of writing intentions to create the life that you want. So let's talk for a minute about what intentions are. Each thought that we have throughout the day is an unspoken, unwritten intention. Everything in our self-talk is creating our reality. So if you're worrying about something, then you are creating an intention for that to be a problem. If you are thinking about how successful something's going to be, you're creating an intention for it to be successful. So that is one of the main points I want to make, is that we're setting intentions all the time, even though we aren't consciously doing it, just through our thoughts. We're not conscious, and what I want is for you to get conscious about the intentions that you're setting. Another example of this is if in your head you're constantly worried about money and you're telling yourself, I don't have enough money, and you worry about it all the time, then even when you're not worrying about it, you're thinking about whether you can afford this or that or the other thing. You're creating that reality in your life that you don't have enough money. And even though that's not what you want to create, you're not consciously intending to have enough money. You are unconsciously intending to not have enough money. So the intentions are all about getting conscious around what we're creating in our lives, by being intentional about what we tell ourselves and others. Instead of the constant thought of and worry about not enough money, you can set an intention that says something like, I'm grateful for the constant flow of abundance in my life. I'm truly thankful that all my needs and desires are met easily and effortlessly. So in this case, not only are you creating abundance with this intention, you're also creating a flow that arrives easily and effortlessly. So before I go on with telling you the format of intentions and some guidelines around how to write them, I do just want to remind people that if you have an issue or problem that you want some help with, you can call in right now at 718-766-4415, and I'll take your calls after I finish sharing this practice. So here are some guidelines for writing intentions, and none of these are really hard and fast rules. People have been successful even when breaking these guidelines, but there are some good things to keep in mind and to follow whenever you can to help you be more successful at creating what you want in your life. So the first thing is that you need to state your intention in the present tense as if it's already happened. So you want to say, I'm so grateful to have a job I love where I am fairly compensated, even if the reality right now is that you hate your job and you don't make enough money. So you state it as if it's already happened. Another guideline is to use gratitude words in your intention, like grateful, thankful. You're thanking the universe in advance for manifesting what you desire. And gratitude is a very high vibrational energy. You also want to use other emotion words in your intentions, just like you did if you have written a vision. You want to imagine how you'll feel once this intention has manifested and use those words, things like excited, thrilled, peaceful, happy, so that you are really feeling the reality of that intention having manifested in your life. You also want to avoid using the word not in your intentions. Our brains don't get that we're asking for the opposite thing when we say not. So if you say, I'm grateful that I am not ill, what your brain is going to hear is ill. I'm grateful that I am ill. And you might actually be creating that you are ill. So instead you want to say, I'm grateful that I have robust health. Also, your intention should only address the end result that you want, not how you will achieve it. In fact, it's really freeing to be released from worrying about how it will happen and just allow the universe to do its thing. Things can show up in ways you never would have imagined, and I have some really great stories about this that I will share at another time, but you just never know how it will happen. So only intend for the end result that you want. And you can be specific or general. It's really up to you. But remember, if you get too specific, you limit how the universe can fulfill your intention in ways you may not have thought of or at a magnitude you don't expect. So if you say, I'm so grateful I'm making $100,000 a year, you limit yourself from making $101,000 a year. So just keep that in mind. And you can intend for emotional states, not just physical manifestation of things. So, for example, I like to intend for feeling peaceful and calm. I'm so grateful that I am peaceful and calm in each moment. That's one of my intentions. And after you've written each intention, read it out loud. Then sit for a moment with your eyes closed and feel what it's like to have that intention manifested in your life. And this kind of helps to lock it in. So that's some guidelines around writing intentions and creating intentions that will bring the life you want into reality for you. And once again, I am taking calls today. This is the Laura Longley Show, but it's the Ask Laura piece of the Laura Longley Show. So if you would like to ask a question, if you have a problem or a situation you need help with, you can call in at 206-792-9912. And I just want to give you a little reminder of why I am someone who really is qualified to help answer your questions. I do have a master's degree in counseling. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I am a certified professional coach, and I'm also a certified happiness coach. So I have tons of life experience, which is a lot of what I use when I'm helping people, but I do also have the education and experience that can lend credibility to what I'm telling you. So I'm not just some fly-by-night person who is telling you what I think is the best answer in my life. So once again, if you'd like to call in, 206-792, I'm giving you my phone number. This is crazy. I'm telling you the wrong number. 718, so that's my phone number. If you ever want to call me, 206-792-9912. The guest call-in number is 718-766-4415. I have up on my screen here too many phone numbers. Guest call-in 718-766-4415. And once again, you can also open the chat window and you can type in the chat if you are feeling shy and don't want to call in directly. So I want to just move along and tell you a little bit about where else you can find me. I'm Laura Longley. You're listening to the Laura Longley Show, and the Sunday version is Ask Laura. And my tagline is where authentic change takes flight, because that is my desire, is to help you create authentic change in your life. And you can find me on Facebook at The Laura Longley Show and at thelauralongleyshow.com. So we do not have any callers. This is a new show, and it may take a few weeks before people start finding us and getting the word out that people can call in with their questions. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more information, and then we'll see if we have any callers by then, and if not, we'll wrap up a little bit early today. So let's see here. Oh, I also want to share with you that I've been doing the show on TransformationTalkRadio.com for about a year and a half, and I have archives of all of the shows, that audio archives, as well as written transcripts. So if you go to LauraLongleyShow.com, you will be able to find audio archives of all of the shows. And if you sign up for my newsletter, then you will also get access to the written transcripts, because I know that sometimes there's just a piece that we want to really hone in on and be reminded of. Maybe you already listened to the show and there's a piece you want to go back to that resonated for you. And in a written transcript, it's a whole lot easier to find that piece than listening through the audio and having to kind of fast forward and guess where it is. So again, TheLauraLongleyShow.com, you can find audio archives and also sign up to get transcripts. So once more, the call-in number is, let me get the right one this time, 718-766-4415. Any issues or problems where you need some guidance, if you would like to have some help from the tarot cards, I can also do that piece for you. So I would love to hear from you. And if you want to just call in and say hello, I'd love to hear from you too, so that I feel like I'm not talking to empty space. All right. So let me take one more look here. Nope, still no more callers, nobody in chat yet. And so let me just share one more piece of, I don't know what the right word is, wisdom with you. Let's call it wisdom, since the name of my site is Your Authentic Wisdom. And this is a light bulb moment that I shared on the Monday show last week. And it's about looking at, if you're feeling sleepy a lot, what that might be about. Now, this is the middle of winter, and so a lot of us feel sleepy just because it's dark days. But if it's really starting to impact you, it's good to look at why. And the reason that this is in my consciousness right now is, a couple of weeks ago, I went through a week where I was just feeling so sleepy. It was like I felt like, you know, I could lay in bed all day and never get enough sleep. I didn't, because I had things I had to do, but that's how I felt. And what I came to realize was that for me at that time, what was going on, because there can be a variety of reasons this happened, but for me, it was that there were some things that I really needed to look at and work on internally that felt kind of scary to me. And so this was an avoidance technique. It was like, even in my meditation, whenever I was meditating, I was having so much trouble staying focused that I just wanted to fall asleep all the time. And I came to realize, because of a dream that I had, that this is what was going on. So that might be one thing for you to look at if when you approach doing things that might feel hard for you, you start to feel sleepy, or you can reverse that and say, notice if when you start to feel sleepy, it's because there's something that you're avoiding doing. I know this also happened to me when I was in college many, many years ago when I had a paper to write or a test to study for that felt overwhelming to me, I would get really sleepy. So for me, it can be an avoidance technique, and I think for a lot of us that is also true. And some other reasons that you might be feeling sleepy that you want to check out is the flip side of the avoiding. It might be that you're doing a lot of inner work and that requires a lot of energy. And so this is kind of, actually I find this a little bit humorous, but what happened for me is once I realized that, oh, I'm sleepy because I'm avoiding doing this work I need to do, then I did the work, then I was sleepy for another week, but that was because I was clearing a lot of energy. And so it can be for either of those reasons, and it takes you paying attention to know which it's for. Some other things that are not related to personal work that are reasons you may be sleepy a lot. Depression, that is one of the symptoms of depression, is a lethargy and an inability to really be active. Sleep apnea, you're not getting good sleep, you're waking up multiple times a minute perhaps with sleep apnea. That can lead to daytime sleepiness. You're not getting enough rest, you're just not getting enough sleep. And so that's something that is easy to look at. Am I sleeping enough? Maybe you're eating too many processed carbs, and I know for me that there are certain things that immediately make me want to go to sleep and take a nap. So I know when that's the case for me. And there, of course, are some medications that have a side effect of causing drowsiness, that's not their purpose, like, you know, there are medications that it's their purpose to put you to sleep, but there are some medications that it's a side effect and it is not their purpose. And so if you take a look at if you're having sleepiness and you look at if you're avoiding doing work that you need to do and that's not it, or you look at you're doing a lot of internal work and it's just exhausting you and that's not it, any of these other things you might want to go to see a practitioner of some sort to make sure that your health is okay, because we can be really sleepy because we're ill. So that would be something to check out. And just once more, one last chance, if anybody wants to call in and get some guidance, the number is 718-766-4415, and you can call in right away. I have no callers at the moment because this is a new show, but I would love to have some callers. And if you want to just call and say, hi, Laura, I'd love that too. 718-766-4415. So I'm just going to give that one more little moment as I give you a few more announcements, and then we'll wrap up the show if we don't have any callers. So just to remind you, I do this show every Sunday, and I'm going to cough. I'm recovering from a cold. Excuse me one moment. So I do the Ask Laura show every Sunday on Blog Talk Radio at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. GMT. I do the Laura Longley Show where I have a guest each week on Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and that is at transformationtalkradio.com. If you're in the Seattle area, you can listen on 11:50 a.m. If you're in the Rhode Island area, you can listen at 12:30 a.m. Those are stations, not times of day. So KKNW 11:50 a.m. in Seattle, or WBLQ 12:30 a.m. in Rhode Island. You can sign up to get 31 days of authentic change wisdom in your email inbox at thelauralongleyshow.com. If you look at the top of the page, right-hand part, you can go and get more information about what that is for you. I do have a very active Facebook page, so on Facebook you can find me at The Laura Longley Show, and I post there multiple times a day, and we have some really good discussions go on there. So if you're needing some change in your life and you would like to get connected with ways in which you can do that and people who can help you with that, Facebook page is a great place to go. So no callers, so we're going to wrap up early today. I want to thank you for tuning in to Ask Laura with me, Laura Longley. I had a great time sharing information with you, even though I didn't get to interact with anybody today, but hopefully next time. Please join me every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. GMT for Ask Laura, my weekly call-in advice show here on Blog Talk Radio, and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on KKNW in Seattle, WBLQ in Rhode Island, or TransformationTalkRadio.com. And tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, I'll be talking with Rose Harrow about how to get more in touch with your intuition, combine it with your logic, and make fabulous decisions. I hope you can join us. Have a fabulous week, and I hope to see you back here next time.